What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today I'm here to bring all of you an anime first impressions of a new Mahou Shoujo anime series. Now, I've briefly heard about this series from my weekly Chibi vlog. I remember a Chibi was mentioning it, talking about the series so far. A lot of series from this anime season is going to be centered around magical girl themed series. And so they said that maybe this series could be good, maybe this series could be bad. So I kind of have some prior information about this series, pretty much letting me know that it might be good, it might not. Now, I finally got to sit down and watch the episode and see for myself if it's going to be probably interesting or something I might not want to watch. And overall, my impressions of the series, it's kind of mixed right now. I have mixed impressions on this series. Now, the reason for this is because it has potential to be a good series, but also it has the potential to be a shit series. For instance, following down the cliche path. And the reason why I'm saying this is because some of the key signs that this series did. And I want to talk about some of the things that give me certain vibes from other series, like the beginning. The beginning of the series sets the tone for what we could expect from this Mahou Shoujo series. Instantly, this is not going to be your typical, Mahou Shoujo series that's for children or someone of young ages or someone that's just used to the normal magical girl like Sailor Moon or something. It's not like that. It's not going to be a magical girl series like that because the beginning starts off very, very similar to how Madoka Magica started. If you've ever watched Madoka, then you know for a fact that's kind of how that started, and it was very similar to how this started right here. And it lets us know that this is going to become a darker series. It's not going to be just about, bubbly stuff, cutesy magical girls. It's going to get dark and have these dark themes throughout the series. But that's the other thing. Also, the beginning of it reminded me a lot of Mirai Nikki. If you've ever seen Mirai Nikki, which it's at the beginning of the episode, so it's not necessarily a spoiler, but if you've ever watched it, and if you saw the first freaking, minute of the series, first couple minutes, you'll see, one of our main female characters, she's in a room, and you see, blood and all that, she's screaming and all that because she's by herself. I'm not going to go into the exact details, but the overall beginning of Mirai Nikki reminded me a lot of this right here that I just watched, because of the theme of it. You see all the bodies on the floor, you see it to where this person smiles. I'm like, that looks a lot like Mirai Nikki. It reminded me a lot of that, and so did, it reminded me of Madoka Magica as well. So, those are the two vibes I got from that. But then, we have the mascot character, which, since we already know this is going to be a dark series because of the beginning, it kind of spoils the outcome that we know it's going to be something crazier down the road. Madoka Magica, it did it in a way that was a little bit different. See, Madoka Magica didn't show the violence, the blood, and all that at the beginning. It just showed some crazy fucking being that, our characters are fighting, and then you had this epic music and animation and art. And it didn't show, how brutal it would be. So, I feel like this series kind of gave away one of the big things about it, something that might have shocked many viewers into watching this series. What if you would have started the series, it would have been cutesy and stuff, how Madoka Magica was. It started off very cutesy, it was kind of like a lie. It was like covering your eyes thinking it's a normal magical girl series, and then all of a sudden it turns into something very dark. I was hoping maybe the series might go down that route, but it didn't. It kind of spoiled the reveal of, people probably dying in the series towards the end of the series, and then also how it's going to be like an elimination game. I was kind of a little bit upset with that, but also getting back onto the mascot character though, the mascot character reminds me so much of the mascot from Madoka Magica and also the mascot from Danganronpa. Now, I'm not saying the personality of this mascot's similar to, Monokuma from Danganronpa. I'm just saying the design. The black and white design, it reminds me a lot of Monokuma from, Danganronpa, and I wonder if maybe the writer of the series or whatever that was writing the series, got inspiration from Monokuma from Danganronpa. Who knows, maybe this series came before Danganronpa. I have no fucking idea because, I'm an anime only, but the design of the mascot reminded me a lot of that, but the personality most likely, the way it's acting all cute, even asking, do you want to be a magical girl and stuff, it reminds me a lot of the mascot of Madoka Magica, so it's just cute, but it's actually going to be a demonic being that you just want to be fuck you. That's kind of what it is. So, overall, my impressions of this Mahou Shoujo series, it's mixed because when I walk into a series like this, if I see so many things that remind me of Madoka Magica, and I'm reminded of it, I'm thinking is it going to try to surpass its series? Is it going to become something else entirely? Like, is it going to try to make its own bridge and do something completely different? Or is it going to try to live off the life of what Madoka Magica built up, since it, deconstructed the Mahou Shoujo genre? It makes me curious what direction this series wants to take and how different it will be. But so far, the episode was kind of solid. It was a solid start in terms of just, setting up the presentation of what to expect. The characters overall, they seem to be the traditional characters you would see in a magical girl series, especially something like this, in a darker setting. And I mean, the art is particularly different compared to what you would normally see from, normal anime. Like, if you watch a lot of anime, you know what I'm talking about. The art style of the series was more moe-fied. Like, you see how the faces were drawn and all that. It was way more moe than normal anime we see, and it's probably because it is a magical girl series as to why it has that type of art style, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with the art style. It doesn't really bug me at all. The animation-wise, animation seemed to be pretty good. I have no real problem with the animation of this episode. The backgrounds look good, too, as well, so no issue on that regard. But let's talk about the actual, the trap situation. So apparently, which really caught me by surprise, I was really surprised, which, like, holy shit, I was surprised, was apparently the one of the magical girls is actually a guy. And when the guy, transforms, he is actually a female, a full female. Like, he's, now a female. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, this trap is just... what? Like, this trap is straight up fucking female. Like, it's not even, like, a male dressing up in a female clothing. It's not like that. It's not like what we saw with, Felis in, ReZero. It's not like that. This is straight up a dude that turns into a girl and is a trap, and I just didn't expect that. I'm like, yo, this dude has tits. I'm like, what? I'm just, like, so confused right now. So, yeah. It was a good start. I think it was. Like I said, I'm kind of mixed on it, though, at this time. I don't know if I will continue watching this series or if I'm going to drop this series. I have no idea. It just depends on what direction it takes and how it executes its plot and its characters, because, I mean, it could turn to shit rather quickly, but it could become something rather good, too, depending on how the writer wrote it. So I can't wait to see how it's animated. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.